Please pray with me. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of all our hearts be acceptable unto you, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best preacher of all? Mirror, mirror in my fair hand, who's the greatest servant in the land? Mirror, mirror in the church, who sits on the highest perch? Peering in the looking glass, egos are fragile, alas. I see myself with a predilection to fall in love with my own reflection. I make a list of all my gifts. Look, what wit, what charm, what skill, as if I am what I will. Or I cry on my pillow, feeling like a big zero, fearing be my secret shames told in public with their names. Oh, I see in a mirror dimly. Oh, I see in a glass unclearly. Narrow focus, my eyes are myopic. My wants, my pain, I'm the only topic. Ego-centered obsession and ambition have turned God's gifts into a competition. Enamored of my reflection, I miss the light's true direction, which points away from what is seen to the source that remains unseen, to the source that gives gifts to all, to build the church and break down walls. This reminds me of a story of Paul and the church in Corinth, you may recall. When St. Paul was far away, some members began to say, only one gift was the best. Tongues was better than all the rest. The other members were offended. The community was upended. Each argued instead for their own gift, uncaring that this tore a deep rift. It left them unable to talk. They sneered at each other. They balked. So Paul wrote them a long letter. It isn't about who is better, for the church is a body. Not one member is shoddy. Each member has a part with good gifts to impart. For these gifts come from the same Spirit who loves the body without limit. Gifts are for giving the self away to edify Jesus' church, okay? So if it doesn't build up the church, put your gifts in a lurch. Those with tongues need to shut up if the tongues do not build up. That goes for all the other gifts. If it pulls the members adrift. Then keep a cap on it turned tight. The church does not need it, all right? But lend your ear to what I say, and I'll tell you the greatest way. Strive for the gifts that are given to all. These gifts are given to the great and small. They are 3 gifts: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. For without love to animate our actions, sharing your gifts is nothing but distraction. Without love, what is preaching but screeching? Without love, what is holy calling but self-enthralling? Without love, charity and service is but asperity and circus. Clang, 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 bang, bang, bang. Without love, all is noise, turning gifts to what destroys. Do you know that all gifts will end? Do you know that your life will end? Where there's prophecy, it will cease. Knowledge will become deceased. Do not build yourself on what passes. Become who you are with what lasts. When we are young, we see as a child, see all that glitters and are beguiled. Don't believe what you've been told. All that glitters is not gold. Now in this mirror, we only know in part, yet we will see face to face and heart to heart. So strive for the gifts that reveal beyond the glitter to what's real, to knowing where knowing disappears, beyond our obsessions and our fears. Where once we saw dimly in a glass, then shall we see with God's eyes at last. Paul's teaching still apply to us today. St. Thomas is joyfully on the way to build a church where each member lights up as a glowing ember, each light adding to each light, till our fire burns warm and bright, a beacon of compassion, justice, and hope, seeing neighbor in greater and greater scope. As we become whom Jesus calls us to be, we honor all gifts and strive for the big 3. Gifts given to all: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these being God's love. Amen.